Welcome once again. Thank you so much for joining us on News Tonight at 10. My name is Patricia Lukoma, and Dorothy Namuyomba is with us on sign language. Now, starting off with the presidential press unit, His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has eulogized former Member of Parliament for Moroto Municipality, the late Simon Peter Aleper, who perished in a road accident early this week. President Museveni referred to him as a pro-people and pro-development young patriot who had run his race very well.
Members of the NRM party, mainly top leaders, started making their way to the Secretariat by 8 a.m. on Friday, 26th July 2024. Moments later, mourners were joined by the party chairperson, also President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The President went straight to lay the wreath of flowers on the casket containing the body of the late Aleper and also signed in the condolence book.
As you can still see on your screens,
the short speeches were led by those of Karamoja Parliamentary Caucus.
We really want to appeal to you in your heart of hearts, and you have been supporting the region, giving young people some support through State House, and that's why we have now over 45 doctors. Please, Your Excellency, help this family.
This was followed by the family members.
Honorable Aleper Simon Peter is a self-made man in a way that he lost his parents when he was still young, but struggled through education. His father was polygamous.
His death is a bullet to my family. He has been a father, a rock.
The widow thanked the President for pledging to support the family.
The other day when you called me, I was broken down. But after you told me you'll support to educate my children, I stopped crying. That's why I'm able to stand here today.
On behalf of the NRM Secretariat, Right Honorable Richard Odong eulogized the late as one who has greatly served his country and party.
Out of the 6 regional vice chairpersons, we are now left with 4. And 2 who have passed on are from northern Uganda. And to us, his death politically is a very big blow.
Dr. Batesachi Alan Paul, a pathologist from Lago National Referral Hospital, briefed mourners on the possible cause of the late Aleper's death.
When we examined him, we found that he had scratch marks on the right shoulder, on the right arm. The right eye was swollen.
Alhaji Moses Chigongo, the first national vice chairperson of the NRM, invited the President to address the mourners.
What really caused this so unnecessary death? Just a young person, very active, very Christian. Now he dies. It's so sad.
The President took a sweep at members of Parliament who always speak recklessly, especially in times of mourning, singling out the Kalungu West legislator Joseph Sewungu Gonzaga.
There's a joker called Sewungu. I think he was called Sewungu. He was speaking. Yeah, it's called Sewungu. I know them from intelligence, from those who are not so useful. I always follow them up. Now he was saying that because there are 2 lanes, one lane, that's why we have accidents. That we should go to 4 lanes. Just like children. You see adults talking like children.
Museveni lauded the late Aleper for being a hard-working person who managed to pull himself from grass to grace.
First of all, he was an orphan. He managed to study. When 40 others from the same polygamist, 39 others never made it. That one I didn't know. How did he manage? Who paid for him? You, the others, learn from him. How did this orphan manage?
President Museveni noted that Karamoja is now at a takeoff stage and reaffirmed that government will support the family on top of securing a job for the widow and a house for the family.
We shall pay for the children. Those children will study. we shall pay for them until they finish their education. If my staff, my State House control is here to make sure that the Aleper's family get a Kasumora house in Kampala here.
Born in 1974, Aleper is to be laid to rest on 30th July 2024 in Napaka District. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Thank you very much there, Robert. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has appointed Alex Kakoza as the caretaker in the office of the Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. In a phone interview with the Secretary to Cabinet, Lucy Nachobe, the appointment takes effect immediately.
The ghost of corruption has continued to haunt Geraldine Sali, who is currently in prison over charges of financial loss and conspiring with members of parliament to steal compensation funds to the defunct cooperative unions. Sali was in the position of the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives until the wrath of the law called her offside on corruption saga. As Geraldine Sali continues to prove her innocence in the anti-corruption court, President Yoweri Museveni has appointed Alex Kakoza as a caretaker in the office. Kakoza, who is the current Principal Private Secretary to the Vice President, is the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Trade until the appointing authority clears the next move. The Secretary to the Cabinet, Lucy Nachobe, confirmed the appointment.
Following the issues that Geraldine Sali is involved in, she has been taken to court and charged.
Yes.
The law requires that we go ahead and interdict her. And therefore, when we interdict her, there is a gap that is created. In the absence of her, that means the Ministry of Trade has no accounting officer.
Okay.
And the ministry without accounting officer cannot run. So, as a stopgap, I appointed the Kakoza to so he's right now the ministry. CPS the vice president, but caretaking the Ministry of Trade, and we see how the court progress with Sali's case.
Okay. So, Madam, when you say caretaking, what is the legality and how long do you think he will be acting as a caretaker to the ministry?
The rest that he would the appointing authority who is the president. That the contract is about to expire. So should it expire and the president feels does not want to wait for the court process, it's appoint a substantive PA.
Okay.
If the president wants to wait for the court process, he can wait. That is not innocent. Then he probably can consider her for employment again.
Okay. In the recent report of Parliamentary Committee on Trade and Tourism, the investigations pinned the Ministry of Trade for adjustments in the amount paid to the defunct cooperatives after the results showed that the Ministry of Trade paid amount over and above the appropriated sum by Parliament. The matter has since witnessed Geraldine Sali, some members of Parliament, including Mawanda Michael and Paula Kamba, and some lawyers being arrested and charged before the Anti-Corruption Court. Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
In the financial institution, President Yoweri Museveni has met and held discussions with a team from Standard Chartered Bank Uganda and UK at State House Entebbe. During the meeting, President Museveni and the delegation members discussed how well projects can be financed in Uganda.
Standard Chartered Bank, as you will know, is probably the director to reintroduce a standard chartered in Uganda. Mheshimiwa, about a few years ago, Force for Good for Uganda, we have always supported the national agenda. For years we've been working with the Ministry of Finance. And we have the appetite to do new projects worth $4 billion, that are very relevant to Uganda over the many years. And this can only happen when transmission lines. The total value of that, Mheshimiwa, can be up to environments. From a normal banking process, Mheshimiwa, I know that when those that are exporting to the neighboring countries, so whether it's Congo or Sudan.
Economy can do badly because we have got a lot of natural resources.
Mourners of fallen former Secretary, Uganda National Examination Board, UNEB, Matthew Bukenya, have gathered at Lubaga Cathedral to celebrate his life and achievements while in the education sector. The Requiem Mass was led by the Archbishop of Kampala, Paul Semogedede.
Early Friday morning, Lubaga Cathedral received the body of the late former Secretary of Uganda National Examinations Board, Matthew Bukenya, for a Requiem Mass. The service was led by the Archbishop of Kampala, Paul Semogedede, who encouraged all to emulate the late Bukenya's life.
Ekitongole ekyebenjigiriza atuweereza era ng'ekyo n'emikono nga byonna miyonjo. Talanta ye eby'okuyigiriza Mukama gye yamuwa agikozesezza n'amaanyi ge gonna. Omukama tumusaba nga bwe tuwulidde mu Vvanjiri agambye nti weebale omuweereza omulungi.
The Katikkiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, also joined others in celebrating the late Bukenya's illustrious career. His message was delivered by the Minister of Education in the office of Nabagereka, Nakate Chikomeko.
Okufa kwe kwalesewo eddibu ddene mu kisaawe ky'ebyenjigiriza wadde nga yali yawummula emirimu gye mu butongole. Yasigala akyebuuzibwako ensonga ez'enjawulo ezidda ku ludda lw'obukugu bwe.
In her message, the Vice President, Jessica Alupo, appreciated the late Bukenya's contributions to the growth of Uganda's education sector. Alupo was represented by UNEB Board Chairperson, Mary Okakwol.
His consistency, integrity, and dedication, our education sector registered tremendous progress in the effective administration of examinations.
UNEB Board Chairman Celestino Obua also added his voice in extending gratitude to the late and commending him for the changes he made during his stay at the center.
Setting up a modern printing press at Chambogo and starting off printing of examinations in-house. Previously, we used to outsource the printing of examinations. Now we do it in-house. Contribution from Matthew Bukenya.
The children of the late Matthew Bukenya had this to say about their late father.
Arrested corruption with passion. When it came to the verification of education documents over ministers, no one would bribe him, though many tried without success, according to him. My father never spared officials with fake documents.
The late Bukenya Matthew passed away on Monday, 22nd July 2024, and will be buried Saturday, 27th July in Masaka. Lydia Chomkama and Stephen Kalisa, UBC News.
And in Lira, police in Lira city today foiled a planned demonstration by a section of some citizens claiming compensation for their lost animals. Police said they responded to an illegal gathering which was not cleared by security teams.
Friday morning, police deployed at Pacific Grand Hotel over information that a section of citizens were planning a demonstration. At the hotel, about 50 people, majority of whom elders from all districts in Lango, were assembled waiting for their coordinator. Police say the meeting was illegal.
We have not organized any illegal meeting. I withdraw. Gave it to me. He had received now the correct list.
It was according to information that they were going to march and we cannot allow them to march. Since they are marching is illegal, who thinks their procession is illegal.
So what Afande said, just only 3 minutes, then you take those people back.
After several engagements, police established that the meeting was for aggrieved coordinators of the cattle compensation. The DPC, Lira City, allowed them 5 minutes to demobilize and organize a formal meeting later. Although the team proceeded with their meeting past the given time, they managed to pass several resolutions in regards to the management of cattle compensation in Lango.
They define even the letter that the Deputy Attorney General have written. They are calling that is a political letter. Especially the office of the DISHU, the office of the RDC, and some cows. Except all the color that are implementing this. We are seeking demand to meet with the president so that we discuss these intruders and the corrupts that is going within office of the DISHU. That is, they are getting money from the beneficiaries even directly.
They also accused Lira District Woman Member of Parliament for messing up with the list of claimants in Lango.
She's the one calling confusion. That is Honorable Linda, a woman who maybe from nowhere last week she started now distributing a different list. Like this one I'm holding. This one, when you look at this. These are the lists that we got today in the office of the cow.
In February this year, the same team went to meet the president over the same issue.
There are issues of not approved. There are issues of that approved. Now we were asking, who did this not approve after the judgment has already been done? And who was this person who was cutting our animals?
In March 2022, President Yoweri Museveni launched the livestock compensation payments for claimants and beneficiaries from Acholi, Lango and Teso sub-regions with a strong call on them to utilize the money for wealth creation. Edi Olwa, UBC News.
Now, cadres from Acholi sub-region have toured Atiak Sugar Works Limited to familiarize themselves with the progress of the project. These members recently completed a week-long course in Lokore Sub-County, Agago District, aiming at imparting ideology and patriotism.
But we are also changing our course unit somehow. After we have been in class, we have gone through a bit of elementary military drills. We now want to show the people how the country is developing. And that's why we chose to come to Atiak Sugar.
Because when we talked to the leadership of this factory, they told us the plans they have for the neighbors, because they are going to provide the seedlings, irrigation, fertilizers, but also to provide market for the products that the neighbors will have produced.
We want to regroup like 8 families, so 4 acres times 8 is a 32-acre farm, because we want to bring machine. The bigger the farm, the much efficient you are in terms of machine and production. So we want to go there, help them to bush clear the land. We set up their garden, we do their plantation, we set the machine, we put the irrigation system. So we as a company, we are also invested in a borehole machine. So we want to go and drill borehole for them. We want to make sure they have, we are going to invest also in the solar system to be able to bring electricity both for the irrigation and for the houses. So some of the houses that was left without electricity also is going to benefit from this. So they can now have a TV, they can have a fan, they can have, this is going to upgrade their livings as well.
This project here, I think people have really understood why President Museveni is pushing development to the rural area. So that, as someone was saying, he can bring the town to the village so that he can control some bit of rural-urban migration. But also bringing money, the money economy, nearest to the people.
And I would say the biggest challenge here, there's land. But access to this land is a big problem. So we have interviewed quite a lot of farmers around, and most of them, the maximum they occupy is 10% of the land. If they have 100 acres, they are occupying 10 acres. So the 19 acre is staying dormant. So we as a company, we want to make sure that we can maximize output of that land. We are going to clear this for them. We are going to bring irrigation system. We are going to do the road infrastructure around them. We are going to bring machineries that can help them.
Let us introduce them to modern farming. They are going to make it. And I think Atiak will also assist us, because you must have some sort of corporate social responsibility. Now that you are saying we are experimenting on sweet potatoes, on Irish potatoes, on sunflower, call the people and expose them to modern farming, irrigation, and the like. They are going to work. They are going to come out of that, what you call laziness. It is just, we need to decolonize the what? The mind.
The International Organization for Migration, IOM, is urging Interreligious Council of Uganda to step up their efforts in educating young people about the dangers of seeking jobs abroad illegally.
The crisis of illegal migration has been far the fastest rising single form of migration during the past 10 years, estimated at 15 to 20% of the world's immigrant stock, between 30 and 40 million immigrants. This migration is not only a problem for the global north, but also a question of worry for the global south. This has prompted the International Organization for Migration in Uganda to initiate awareness engagement with the Interreligious Council of Uganda on safe labor migration and ethical recruitment in Uganda. IOM Chief of Mission tasked IRCU to sensitize Ugandan youth on the risk of going abroad to work without using proper channels.
In implementing recruitment policies, because we know that sometimes things are put on paper and policy and they don't happen, and the resources aren't available to enforce and monitor and improve policies. So it's important to make sure that policies are implemented wherever possible.
According to IOM, many youth are ferried by human traffickers across borders and hence falling prey of the risks associated with human trafficking.
We have tried to warn the public that if you do not go through official channels, if you do not take precautions and equip yourself with all the facts, your dream can easily become a disaster.
We also believe that through grievance mechanisms, migrant workers can have their rights more fully realized and have access to justice and make sure that our systems are strong and our institutions are healthy and supportive of the rights and opportunities for all migrant workers.
Let us take initiatives for safe migration even at institutional level.
His Eminence Sheikh Waswa Ali Muhammad emphasized the resolutions by IOM on safe labor migration and ethical recruitment for IRC in Uganda. The Interreligious Council of Uganda also wants government to set aside a special fund for supporting migrant workers.
That the existing program on migration, migrant workers and refugees at the Interreligious Council of Uganda Secretariat be strengthened to be more robust, functional, and effective in supporting IRCU member bodies to develop responsive programs that support migrant workers, to develop theological resources that uphold the dignity of every person and individual, especially migrant workers and refugees so that they are protected all times.
Unfortunately, sometimes they meet not what they expected. And that one, we have examined it, and we pray that we could work together with the IOM and the Ministry of Gender, and as well as with the pattern churches, the member churches, to reduce those problems they face when they have gone to those countries.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Thank you very much there, Mary Namkose. Now, the education stakeholders in Langosab region have asked government to trim powers of school foundational bodies and limit their authority to only handling faith-related matters. This was one of the recommendations made during the Education Policy Review Commission's visit to the area.
Citing Ojuna Seed Secondary School, awarded to Lira P7, but later rejected, as continuous evidence of foundational bodies frustrating educational policies, education stakeholders propose that the new education policy should restrict the mandate of foundational bodies to only faith matters and leave the government in charge of educational decisions like teacher transfers.
We have Ojuna Seed Secondary School that had been awarded to Lira P7, which is in Ojuna Division. But because of the foundation body rejected the offer and they chased the school. The school has suffered. It has gone to Omito, where the church again has chased it. It is now in space dangling.
They argue that schools under these foundational bodies have become a battleground for educational disputes, often rejecting the transfer of the teachers and teachers appointed by the ministry in favor of those of their faith or preference.
You know, as a district leader, we have had challenges with foundation bodies. Indeed, it is a big challenge in managing institution schools, both primary and secondary, but mainly in primary. It has become a big challenge, and the foundation bodies' power should be minimized, should be reduced. The government should reduce the powers of the foundation bodies. The powers of posting teachers, the powers of posting teachers, the powers of governing the institution should be left to government. But the issue of foundation bodies should be left in the areas of faith only.
You talked about tuition disparities in these education institutions in this country. What's your proposal about this?
My proposal about tuition is that the government should streamline. Let it have a unit cost per child in all institutions across both private and government. Because you look at the amount of money is given by government for a secondary school, 55,000, 56,000. And then in some schools, per term, in a private school, 3.5 million per term. That is a very big disparity. I would wish the government should come out with a policy that every child in every level of education pays equal amount everywhere in the country.
We are also looking at the curriculum. Are you satisfied with the curriculum we are implementing? Also looking at the financing. Again, Acting DO had said something. What do you say about the financing of education generally? What would you propose? Because we have a vision to achieve.
Calls to harmonize teachers' salaries continue to grow louder, sorrowing the matter further. In some schools, science combination learners call themselves Team 4 Million, with some merely pursuing sciences to show off to their arts colleagues and end up posting poor scores.
Of the 4 million is trickling down even to the students. Amongst the students, they describe themselves, the scientists, as Team 4 million. Now, the Team 4 million, everybody desires to have it. So what is happening? Anybody who even cannot manage doing the science is forced into the science class. And before long, exams come, the student does what? Fails.
Currently, the Education Policy Review Commission has collected 240 memos and continues to traverse the country seeking views. Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Police spokesperson Rushoke Kituma has called on church leaders to enhance the fight against immorality, which has spread throughout society and contributing to the rise of crime rates among the youth.
Growing immorality, particularly among young, has been attributed to factors such as unemployment, poor upbringing, and the impact of new technology, which has led to habits like homosexuality and lesbianism. These issues have caught the attention of both police and church leaders who are seeking ways to address them.
There is a lot we share in common, and we really need to bring our effort together in form of synergy to see how to build our communities and how to strengthen the moral fiber in society.
Equipping each other, and that's why we invited the spokesperson of police with the PROs in the churches to compare notes and to train each other, equip each other to become better public relations officers as we speak for the church, the body of Christ, and address some of these things that are in the churches.
Chituma Rusoke, the police spokesperson, emphasized that the church and the police share similar mandates to ensure a well-organized society, both spiritually and mentally.
The moral standing of man without applying force. On the contrary, we are a police force. We use the other means when people fail to adhere to moral and moral standards. So the church plays one part, we play the other. But in one way or the other, we converge at the same point. Our objective is one, a moral society.
He encouraged church leaders to work hard in combating immorality and discourage the use of social media to spread unverified information, which can incite violence.
Extremely useful. And it is our promise that we shall even make it stronger, because the religion plays a very important role in enhancement and the promotion of good souls within the public.
Joseph Magongo, spokesperson for the born-again Pentecostal churches in Uganda, agreed with the police and the need for swift response to address growing immorality in society.
Continue teaching the youth about what is right before God, continue teaching the men, the women, the marrieds, and to make sure that this gospel sinks into their hearts. Because when a heart is transformed, a character is changed and the person changes. And that's why we are working together with the police, because the police will deal with anything criminal, but the Bible will deal with the behavior.
He emphasized the importance of cooperation between police and church leaders in creating more organized society for future generations. Mary Namkose, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
Amanya gange nze Namutebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde, nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyennyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere, weewaawo abafere gye bali, naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanye eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire.
Together we're unstoppable.
all wanted. That soft yellow glow of a subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Welcome back. As we get into our second segment, Muslim women leaders from various parts of Uganda have been urged to increase their involvement in income-generating activities as a means to combat domestic violence and poverty.
Aimed to train Muslim women on leadership issues as highlighted by Sophia Kenyana, the National Chairperson Women Council.
The main aim is to help the leaders or to train leaders about the leadership skills, about financial literacy, about how they can help themselves to elevate them from poverty by training them how to save, by training them how to be good leaders, by training them how to embrace government programs, how to use their religion, faith, deen, Islam, to improve their communities.
It was attended by senior UMSC officials, economists, and various women leaders, including Farida Chibawa, the National Women's Chairperson, who served as the chief guest. Participants were trained by various experts on how to develop their economies.
Both parents have forgotten their responsibilities. The daddy doesn't know that the father has forgotten his responsibilities, and the mom has forgotten her responsibilities. In that, if these two parents were at par, daddy knowing that he's supposed to pay school fees, mommy knowing that he's supposed to look after the children, maybe the level of violence would have reduced.
In addition to economic development, the workshop also addressed the prevalent issue of domestic violence. Farida Chibawa attributed domestic violence to factors such as women refusing to engage in sexual relations with their husbands and extreme poverty.
We shall not allow women to lose marriage because of poverty. Men should allow their women to work, to embrace government programs, because money is there. Money is in PDM, money is in Emyoga, money is everywhere.
She provided strategies to overcome these challenges.
As the major cause of domestic violence as poverty. So I have encouraged all the women Muslim leaders from their respective districts to make sure that they create business, they get financial independence, because it is the only way to go. The president has put emphasis on wealth creation, which I think Muslim women should embrace.
Leaders emphasized that to address these issues, women should engage in income-generating activities and refrain from abusing their husbands.
If we empower these women with financial literacy, with the information of economic transformation, maybe they will be able to cater for the responsibilities.
So that we can develop how to support my husband, how to support the children, more so in the line of education.
The women who attended the workshop expressed their enjoyment and appreciation for the valuable insights and training provided.
Since this workshop has come out, we are going to teach our fellow ladies to be firm, to be strong, and to encourage them to come to also to join different workshops to get more about us.
Benon Mokwaya, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
And over to Kanungu, where residents have tasked to conserve and protect chimpanzees, since it's one of the animal species with high tourist attraction.
Queen Elizabeth National Park is one of the parks with large numbers of chimpanzees and also the highly attractive tourist park. During this year's celebration of World Chimpanzee Day in Kanungu district, chimpanzees were listed to be among the animal species with high tourism attraction. The celebration started with a walk through Kanungu town and ended at Ngoto Tourism Hub.
John Makombo is the Director Conservation, Uganda Wildlife Authority. According to John Makombo, Kanungu district is among the districts with a good number of chimpanzees.
So I've been concentrating more on the mountain gorillas, and we have more or less ignored the chimpanzees. We thought that we needed to come to one of the sites where the chimpanzee chimpanzee is, and also raise this awareness amongst the communities that interact with the chimpanzees and profile it.
Makombo has called upon communities near chimpanzee habitats to protect these animals since they share a lot in common with mankind. The Executive Director, Jane Goodall Institute, James Piamokama, highlighted the importance of celebrating this species of animals in our day-to-day lives.
We need to have a world where people make conspicuous choices to live with one another in harmony with other animals and the environment we all share.
The Bishop of Kinkizi Diocese, Right Reverend Dan Zoreka, who graced the function, also asked Christians to engage in conserving the environment and attach their value to creation. He asked all church leaders to highly participate in promoting tourism and protecting habitats.
In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. The chimpanzee has 98.8 DNA. So they are like our brothers and sisters. So people must know that we have to live as friends of the chimpanzees and all the other habitats in this area. As churches, where we always meet many people, we need to team up and continue to create awareness that people must be engaged in preserving nature.
Henry Monjera is the Assistant District Chairperson, Kanungu District.
From these tourists who have been coming, and as well as the revenue for the central government, because we have the program where the central government gives us revenue sharing.
Kanungu District is one of those districts that are blessed with a lot of natural habitats like birds. Different animal species like gorillas, chimpanzees, and baboons.
Now, 5 national teachers' colleges have each been given a vehicle by Enable, a development agency of Belgium's federal government that collaborates with Uganda's Ministry of Education and Sports in easing transportation at these institutions.
The teacher training institutions that have received the vehicles include NTC Mubende, NTC Kabale, NTC Muni, NTC Unyama, and NTC Kaliro. Minister of State for Higher Education, Dr. Chrysostom Muyingo, says the principals should give proper maintenance to the vehicles for them to perform their duties.
In the first place, I feel very much honored to preside over this function, where we are witnessing a total of 5 vehicles being handed over to our national teachers' colleges, who are now become united. Upon receiving the newly refurbished facilities, please take maximum care of these facilities. They are new, good-looking. Let's own it. Let us own them and take maximum care of whatever there is in there for the next generation. I want to encourage you to maintain the facilities, as I was said. Make sure they are properly utilized for the purpose of preparing the best teacher for this country.
Dr. Safina Musene says these vehicles will make it easier for tutors and principals to move to teaching practice centers to supervise teachers under training.
For us as education, when we receive this facility vehicles, we get happy because we know they are going to improve the transportation of our instructors, tutors, our principals in the field as they supervise the training and to attend various meetings that support education and training of a teacher.
Annabelle has been here for close to 20 years, working with the central government through the different ministries. And of course this function today is part and parcel of the projects which Annabelle implemented through the teacher education. We are handing over 5 vehicles to the 5 NTCs in this country.
The college principals were in utter joy upon receiving these vehicles, saying it is a timely intervention.
We have been suffering. Sometimes when we have an activity to go in the field, we need to climb hills. We didn't have means, but we believe through this, Mama, Janet, we thank you so much for thinking about us.
NTC Kaliro didn't have any means of transport apart from the college bus that may not really be necessary for transporting a few staff members. So all along, the administrators have been using public means, travel to Kampala, and then in Kampala you are on a border. I would like to thank Enebo. They have really redeemed us from this challenge.
Crispus, Arinitwe, UBC News.
Now, welders, shea butter, and poultry, Imyoga savings and credit cooperatives in Leptong and Dokolo districts in northern Uganda are empowering youth and women through the Imyoga Seed Fund. The initiative is fostering economic growth and employment transformation, trying to transform lives in the Langi and Achole communities.
Banyeta ko Muhangi Donata, the chairperson wa group. I
am the chairperson of this group that got money. The group is called Kalsandara HIV/AIDS Craftswomen Group. UWEP gave us money in 2017 and they gave us 3.3 million Ugandan shillings. We used it in 1 year and got 23 million out of it. We do baskets and kitchen gardens, and we also have a saving group. We thank UWEP because this money helped us as women. Women can now educate their children and build houses because many of them are single mothers. We work without jealousy because we want to leave a legacy that even those who will be around tomorrow will appreciate.
Welcome back from that short break. And of course, in the world of business, over 150 cassava farmers and those in small and medium enterprises in Arua have been trained in value addition and financial literacy through a 4-day training organized by Postbank Uganda in collaboration with the Federation of Small and Medium Enterprises. The initiative is part of the Agri-SME Skill Development Program aimed at empowering local farmers to explore wider trade opportunities both locally and internationally.
I could get some money to supplement my salary. I engaged myself more and more when I was invited to come for this training because it was the best training in my life which I had never received on value addition and financial literacy training. I left everything. I decided to come for this training.
Actually, people are talking out here. No, market for cassava is not there. But when we reach to that course or that training, sincerely, cassava has a lot of money. It will throw my ignorance out.
As a brothers, we really have money, but the way how we make a savings is nil.
We are collaborating with Postbank Uganda on an Agri-SME development program on a theme called Gatako, or Mutindo, maybe in English, value addition. And we started this program way back in 2022. We realized as FSMEs that a number of SMEs have many challenges, and among which our agri-SMEs lack value addition knowledge. They have a challenge of access to finance. Then also, they also have a challenge of accessibility to market. So in so doing, Federation together with the Post Bank, we are trying much as possible to interest these SMEs for them to be able to practice good manufacturing practices and also agricultural value addition. Why? Because we believe that when they put this into place, they will be able to scale their market.
Arua being the hub of agriculture, and the advantage given to us by the two borders, South Sudan and DR Congo, this would be an important engagement for our SMEs in agriculture to enable them have the basics in boosting their businesses, and also as well providing them with information about affordable financing for their businesses.
You realize that in West Nile, but Arua in particular, we have been monitoring PDM. A majority, 90% of the enterprises had chosen cassava. Our PDM farmers to add value process cassava. So one, I want to thank Post Bank. I would like to thank FMC for this initiative.
And into sports, with a week to the FUFA Super 8 tournament, Cranes Select side remains in a buoyant mood before encountering the best clubs in the land. The National Select Cranes team has for a week now been at Makerere University Business School MOOPS grounds. Cranes Select is composed of mainly locally best players and free agents that are out of 7 participating clubs. Well, that does bring us to the end of our news tonight at 10. Thank you so much for being a part of us. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango, and Dorothy Namiyomba has been with us in sign language. From us, from the entire news team, it's a good night, but stay tuned.